welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We want to continue the Hildibrandt quests of Heaven's War today. Last time we actually found Inspector Hildibrandt and he dug up a Mammet, which he insists is a little boy. Okay, Sir. Inquisitor Sir, how do we continue? The Gigi situation. I pray this Eve finds you well, Desiree, or at least better than it finds me. It seems I have no choice but to seek out that inspector and convince him to surrender up his Mammet to me. It was unearthed under most suspicious circumstances after all, and who can say what secrets or heresy it might hold. Therefore, the Inquisition would conduct a thorough inspection, and if needs must, destroy it. Given his affinity for the contraption, I fear the inspector may not be amenable to my request. Nevertheless, he must be made to see that this is in the best interest of public safety. Would you be willing to help me persuade him? Alright. Fury be praised, at least you have seen reason. Let us pray he will as well. I'm given to understand that while the inspector and his assistant have been wandering all over the city with a Mammet and Tau, they often frequent the gazebo near Forton's Manor. With any luck, they will be there now. Dangerous gazebo. Hello, little friend.
To the very pinnacle of the heavens.
Isn't she adorable? Then shall we scour all creation from the deepest pits of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens for the answers we seek. Every day shall be filled with grand adventures, the stuff of fairy tales and legends.
Huzzah! A grand adventure in the deepest pits of the seven hells.
Just so, such is the creed of Hildibrandt, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire. Well post, Gigi, well post. I dare say you have the potential to be an exemplary inspector someday. Right, that's enough of that. By virtue of your authority vested in me by the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine, I hereby command you to surrender that Mammet of suspected heretical origin into my custody. Why hello, Desiree, and Inquisitor Sir, ever the jester, accusing poor Gigi of being a clockwork heretic, when it's plain to see that he's merely a precocious young lad. Ah, there you go again, confusing the poor girl. As it was big, beautiful, boxy eyes and the soul of femininity. Nashu, please, were you not witness to the magnificent display of Mandevillian masculinity mere moments ago? Of course you haven't taught her any better. She's a proper role model to show her what's what. Mistress Klingor, Inspector Sir, what's all this commotion? We can hear you from a courtyard. Ah. Oh, Lord Edmund, my sincerest apologies for the disturbance. I'm come to seize some Mammet on behalf of the Inquisition, a fact which I clearly explained to the Inspector before we arrived. At which point we set to bickering about the contraption's gender. What say you, my lord? Do you think Gigi is a boy or a girl? Tis clearly a strapping young lad, no? Fury take me, not you too. Has the whole world gone mad? Fine, fine. But even supposing that this Gigi is a real boy, you cannot deny that the circumstances of this discovery and the miraculous resuscitation were most unnatural. He cannot be suffered to roam the city with impunity, and the Inquisition is determined he is no threat. I beg your pardon? Miraculous resuscitation? I see. When until such time as Gigi recovers his memory, mayhap it would be best if you adopted him as a ward of House Mandeville. I will even stand as witness here now, if you wish. Adopt? Then what make me Gigi's father? Doubtless the Inquisition would think better of taking any actions which might threaten the cordial relationship between our two houses. Yes, of course, I'll do it. I, Hildibrandt, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinary, do hereby grant this child the patronage of House Mandeville.
Papa Hildi! Papa Hildi! The inspector's finally become a father. That's so beautiful.
Quite. Now that you no longer fear the Inquisition, you are free to show Gigi more of their city. Indeed, I strongly encourage you to do so. Mayhap by the grace of a fury, something will jog his memory. Thank you, Lord Edmund. I shall not forget this kindness. Come, my faithful assistant. My beloved son, we must away. Oh, Helone. I would not presume to question your grand design, but... confound it all. Well, maybe I cannot attain the Mammet, but I'm still within my rights to observe the blasted thing. Lord Godber will be pleased to hear that his son is as hale and healthy as ever. Not that I would ever presume to meddle on another father's behalf, and certainly not without consent. How long must I stand around waiting for that Mammet to do something possibly heretical?
Carl, look at all the halberds. Never seen such a well-armed building before.
Judging from the size of the estate, they've wealth to rival House Mandeville. Come now, Gigi, surely gazing upon this wondrous work of Ishgardian architecture stirs something within your soul. This grand manor of House Durenmel Temsert. Why do you not feel the Mammets have such nonsense? There's a supreme sacred tribunal of Hellenic inquisitory doctrine. I should know, I work there. Though I'm quite certain that there is no House Durenmel Temsert, and that it is a rather ludicrous portmanteau of 4 houses, including the esteemed house which but recently stood as witness to your adoption.
But Gigi, do you remember anything? No, nothing.
I say, rather than parading him before the grandiose, why not give him a taste of something more prosaic? Let us make our way to the holy stables, that he might bask in the singular sights, sounds and smells of Ishgard's famous chocobos. Patience, patience. A watched heretic never sinned. Such noble creatures, chocobos. How many halcyon days they have passed in the saddle, racing across the windswept plains.
So if I wanted hair that color, I'd have to eat plums, wild fruit, and pineapples. But how many?
The plumage color changes. Splendid specimens of horse-bird flesh. Would you not agree? In the hands of a skilled jockey, any one of them could take first place at the saucer. These chocobos are a pride of the Ishgardian cavalry. Any temple knight who dared exploit them for personal gain would answer to the Fury herself.
How about now, Gigi? Do you remember anything about Ishgard? We should have sniffed the chocobos. It might help. It didn't.
You know, just because you found him in the Curve and Snowbank, it doesn't mean he hails from Ishgard. Which is why we ought to try taking him to the markets and exposing him to all manner of goods from across Eorzea. Excellent suggestion, Inquisitor. Wait, am I now complicit in this farce? Fury, forgive me.
But I want one. Buy me a chocobo, please, Father. Father, that strange-looking thing is staring at us. Gigi. Am I that strange looking?
Not really.
What if I picked one with my eyes closed and gave it as a name day gift to myself? Oh, I wonder what I'd get.
Receive your orders, detain your heretic, meet your quota. If you take me, it used to be so simple. Frightening on occasion, I grant you, but with my mentor's little episodes, but simple nonetheless. These goods would fetch a high price in Ul'dah.
Why bother? It's no use.
No, Gigi. You must not give in to despair so easily. Did I not promise you days filled with grand adventure and the eventual discovery of your mislaid memories? Spirits, Gigi, spirits. My word, a vase flung to the ground with reckless abandon. Could this be the opening salve of an indiscriminate campaign of vandalism? One waged by your wild gesticulations, perhaps? At least look before you strike a pose. The gods only know how much that vase cost.
123,504,000 gil at last assessment. It was over 700 years old and graced the homes of a dozen archbishops, 8 counts, 2 lord commanders, and 1 duke.
100 million gil! Oh, Halone, why have you forsaken me?
Well, you look at that.
It's a miracle, nay, the divine intervention of a few yourself.
Did I do that?
Gigi, my boy, that was marvelous. You are born artisan, just like father.
Papa Hildy's papa? Your grandpapa Godbird, the man who woke you up with gentle taps to the noggin. You wouldn't believe what else he can do with a hammer of his. Why, some folks say he wields the very power of life and death. Once he and the missus come back from the tour of the Western Highlands, I'm sure they'd love to see that trick of yours.
Do not demean this moment's power as a mere parlor trick. We just witnessed a miracle, and I demand that you acknowledge it.
This Mammet.
So I say 100 million gil for the Mammet. Nay, 100 million gil and the Duke's priceless vase. My word, is this what passed for trade in Ishgard? Gigi's my flesh and blood. We will not sell him at any price.
Please, Papa Hildy, no more. I know you mean well, but we can't deny the truth no longer. I am a Mammet.
Gigi, whatever's gotten into you, you're my son. You're a mandible man.
Listen to your papa, Gigi. You're a mandible girl, through and through. Stop it, both of you. You're not my papa or my mama.
Ah, the unmistakable scent of, well, perhaps not heresy exactly. Regardless, the Mammet's power cannot be allowed to fall into the wrong hands.
Oh, children do say the most hurtful things.
Well, it's only to be expected. Gigi is at a rebellious age. Strange as it may sound, I too detest my parents' patience, and that on more than one occasion. But if I could weather the storm, then so can I.
I say we find out what got him thinking he's a Mammet.
But he is the Mammet, how can you... Never mind. Just so we're clear, we do agree that's the Mammet, right? You don't honestly believe that, you know?
I'm sure he didn't mean what he said about his Papa Hildy, which means he thinks I'm his mama?
The measure of a Mammet. Hildibrandt knows in his heart that love transcends dimensions of time and space, definitions of man and machine. The course of father would never did run smooth, but I, Hildibrandt, guardian of Gigi, doting parent extraordinaire, shall find a way to overcome this trial and be reconciled with my beloved son.
That's the spirit. Solving a simple case of childhood rebellion should be easy for a man who has unmasked thieves, defeated duelists, and led armies of the undead.
Yes, that's all very... Wait. What was it about the undead? Actually, don't tell me. For now, all that matters is finding that Mammet. We should begin by speaking of the sentry station at the city gates and the airship landing. If Fury Helpers he has left Ishgard, we need to know about it sooner rather than later. I will visit the Ark of the Worthy, where the inspector and his assistant head to the airship landing. You can question the guard at the gate near the manufactory. After which we will regroup there and share our findings. Dismissed. The little fellow with a white-brimmed hat. Aye, he came through here. Bought passage on a supply ship bound for Falcon's Nest. One of them was on Lallerfeld, right? Funny little bugger, seemed keen to be anywhere but here. Well, if Gigi left the city, it was not by the main gates. The sentry at the airship landing have seen no one matching his description. This guy had. Falcon's Nest, Fury take me. Must we return to that freezing pit of despair? Wheresoever Gigi goes, I will follow him and find and embrace him as my son once more. However, I surmise our final destination lies far beyond the walls of said outpost. Indeed, there's but one reason he would return to the frozen wastes. To frolic in the snow and cast his worries to the winds. Really? He seemed in no mood to frolic when last I saw him. As I recall, he used his arcane powers to mend the vase, only become morose and belligerent when it became clear to him that he was, in fact, a Mammet. One might even say he remembered what he was, remembering his purpose, and so he returned to Western Carthus, that famous breeding ground for heresy, where first we found him. Home to his heretic masters to share with them the intelligence he had gathered on the city. At long last, the undeniable, unquestionable, the unmistakable scent of heresy! What are you standing around for? We have a heretic to catch. Inspector, I'm starting to think that Inquisitor Cyril might not think very highly of our little girl. It is possible, but I would not presume to know his feelings as he voiced them explicitly. At such time that he does, we should endeavor to surreptitiously bring him around to the opinions that Gigi is a boy of pure heart and good intent. Subtlety in all things, Nashu. That is a mannerable way. Are you sure about that? I got no quarrel with Larafel's mind, but you hear things sometimes, like how they got a scheming nature, how they stab you in the calf for a handful of gil. Like my calf just where they are, thank you very much. Ah, even the footprints are adorable. They almost look like they were made by one of those clockwork minions. Would know those tiny footprints anywhere. He came this way. North. Aha, I knew it. The Mammet immediately left the outpost and looks to have headed north along the river. By the few, I cannot wait to finally catch him in the company of heretics. I don't much like your tone, Inquisitor. If our baby girl run afoul of any heretics, she'll look them square in the eye and tell them she doesn't want any. Hey, Inspector, I think I just had one of those moments, you know, of insight. Maybe he came out here to find Lord Godbird. I did tell her Grandpapa might like to see a trick of us. Brilliant deduction, Nashu. He must be eager to meet his grandparent. The self-same unseen announced when he declared you were not his father. What a fine young gentleman, eager to explore his heritage. Let us make haste, my friends, for a reunion of 3 generations of Mandeville beckons. I really can't be bothered. Maybe Gigi just went here to die. You know? In his state, that is an option. Further north. Well, you have fun, Godbird. And Julian? The Mammet lies motionless in the snow, fragments of ice stuck to its cap, suggesting the impact of something small and round traveling at high speed. My head, who? Oh, it's you. You followed me. Oh, Gigi, if you wanted to have a snowball fight with your grandparents, should have said so earlier. Papa Hildy was very worried. Boy is glad to see that you're unharmed. It would seem he was struck by a snowball, much like these Steinbocks, these dead Steinbocks. Are you sure he isn't damaged? As if a mere blow to the head could fell our Gigi, the Mandibles are made of sterner stuff. I myself have been driven headfirst into the earth on no fewer than 24 occasions, several times from moms above, and my mind is no less brilliant for the experience. I expect the Earth was no less brilliant for the experience. Why are you nodding? Oh, he's behind me, isn't he? Well, good fortune to have crossed paths with you lot so far from civilization. Forgive me for not taking notice earlier. I was engrossed in my duel with Julian. But how rude of me. Would you care to join us?
Grandpapa Godbert, Grandpapa Godbert. Mama Nashu says you wield the power of life and death. I beg you, Grandpapa Godbert. Grant me life. Make me a real boy.
Are you sure about this, son? It may sting a little.
I will endure whatever I must to become a real boy.
Then let us begin.
Its body, it's everything I ever wanted. It's perfect. Thank you, Grandpapa Godbert. Thank you.
Oh, but I have not even begun to begin. By God, guide my hammer! Oh, is the Roger then?
Papa Hildi, I'm a man-devil man.
Gigi, my son, come to your father. Let me have a look at you.
Papa Hildi.
Gigi! A man-devil man. Now that brings back some memories.
Papa Hildi, oh dear. Could have done such a thing.
However, phew, it was like the vase all over again, miraculously restored to its original form. Gigi, my boy, upon further consideration, I believe that this body may suit you best. It is, how shall I put it, is more manageable. And much more adorable.
But how can I ever be accepted as your son if I remain a Mammet?
Is that what's been troubling you all this time? And why didn't you say so? A mandible is more than mere flesh and bones. He is vigor, compassion, honor. A gentleman for all seasons. Be you man or machine, it is no difference. If I call you Mammet, you will look at me in the eye and say, nay, I'm a mandible Mammet. Mother, Father, forgive me for not consulting with you earlier, but circumstances forced my hand. I formally adopted Gigi as my son and ward of House Mandible. You gods! I knew he was fond of a Mammet. But did you hear that, woman? Our son's gone and got himself a son.
Grandpapa Godbert! Grandpapa Godbert!
It all makes sense now. Grandpapa Godbert and Grandmama Julian. I've been waiting years to hear those words. Grandpapa Godbert, Grandmama Julian. Few things in life are grander than becoming a grandparent, as they say.
What's so bloody grand about it? I'll not be made grandmother of a bloody buggering Mammet. It's past time I beat some sense into my beloved boy.
Fury take me. I heard the tales of dark nights before, but no, it couldn't be. No, I think it was something far worse. Heretical like as not, but rules be damned, I'm not risking my life to find out. They're mad, utterly mad. The whole damn lot of them. How the house could rise to such prominence I will never understand. Well, at least the Mammet seems to have overcome its existential crisis. Before today I didn't know a Mammet could even have an existential crisis. So it seems. Wait, what am I saying? It's a Mammet. Why would I care what it claims to think or feel? Few take me, the idiocy is infectious. Mustn't allow myself to fall prey to it. Follow procedure. Report to their superior. One step at a time. One step at a time. You can't escape here. And who are you three? Or however many you are? As of 3 people? Right then, my superiors have been informed of a Mammet's adoption by House Mandible, as witnessed by House Fortams, proceeded to take me to task for my gross mishandling of the situation. They remain unconvinced that the Mammet is a product of heretical machinations and have commanded me to redouble my efforts to prove this incontrovertible fact. That may prove problematic, however, as he seems to have forsaken his quest to recover his memories and thrown himself wholly into his new life as a Mandible Mammet, casting about for any hint of a case alongside his doting father. In any event, though I do not share my superior's conviction, I think it's safe to say there is something exceedingly unusual about that Mammet. You saw it with your own eyes, how effortlessly it restored that vase and itself to its original form. Reconstructive magics are not particularly rare, but his are unlike any I've ever seen. See you, Inspector.